Hi, I'm Ashley Adamson. I just woke up from a nap and I had a recurring thought that I thought is important to start to reflect on. It's this sense of, what am I doing with my life? It manifests as, how do I want to see the end of my life? Am I going to feel like I did enough? What did I accomplish? What did I do? Do you ever have these kind of feelings? These ever kind of thoughts where you look at your habits and you think about, is this going to be the rest of my life? Is this how things are just going to end? Am I going to live this way for the rest of my life? Is this what I want? Am I always going to have these kinds of relationships, these kinds of experiences? Am I just always going to go to bed watching Netflix? What are your daily habits? What are you building towards? What's changing in your life? What are you feeling like you're struggling with? Are you always going to be struggling with that? The transition is a funny thing because it's like a temporary one. Like, we aren't always going to be transitioning into males or females, or we aren't always going to be transitioning into non-binary. Maybe, sure, a lot of your life will be spent, I don't want to say this because I don't want it to be the truth, but I hope that some of you don't spend your whole life confused about who you are. No, that's not going to happen. That's like fatalist. And I would never wish that for anyone. But I think some people will spend their lives not knowing who they are. And it's not because they're not trying. No, it's not because they're trying. It's because they're not trying. And you're here because we're talking about, figuring things out. So you're obviously on the right path because you're talking to me. No. You're obviously on the right path because you're thinking about it. Because you care enough about it to watch a video about someone talking about it, and maybe watch another video about someone talking about it, and watch another one. I've been on this path to figuring out who I am, what is life, what's going on, since still waking up from a nap, 2005, when I realized the world is not what I thought it was. I had read this book on black holes by Stephen Hawking. I'm forgetting which one. I got the whole series and I read all of them. Thank you, Stephen Hawking. And it talks about just kind of like how things end up being when the universe dies, and or really like when our solar system dies and our galaxy dies and our universe completely collapses. And basically what's going to happen and where things have come from is black holes. Black holes are kind of like everything. They are still a theory. We have never seen one, but there's a lot of evidence to suggest it's there, especially when you look at galaxies and you see that they're revolving around something very, very heavy, but you can't see it. But I mean, to kind of like summarize his entire book series and what my takeaway is and how it can be kind of used as a thought experiment in the universe and your existence, is that black holes are where everything came from. They're just this almost infinitely dense mass that compresses and compresses and compresses and compresses. And then at some point there was a big bang, and now we are traveling matter that's expanding from the center of the universe where the big bang happened. And eventually all of the matter will slow down and dissipate and eventually stop being whatever form it is, because it'll eventually collapse back into some black hole, which will then collapse into another black hole, and our matter is just going to be eventually just black, just sitting there. And this is far, far beyond our lifetimes. But when you look at the world like that, when you look at the universe like that, it's hard not to just have a sense of, well, what is meaning? There is no meaning, and the universe, if you derive your meaning from the nature of how things are, it has no meaning, it has no purpose, it just is. And that kind of leaves you kind of thinking, well, everyone's just making up shit. Everyone's just making up shit. And when you think about your life, and you think about how do things work out here, there's got to be something more to it that you can make out of it. Because just as humans, we need something to keep us going. We've adapted to have something in our lives that will make us want to survive. And so we create religion, we create meaning, and we create this belief system to help give us some kind of purpose to go on. And that's how I kind of saw things for a while, until I started reading about things like out-of-body experiences and how you can put yourself in a state where you can have an out-of-body experience. And I followed the rules, I followed the instructions, and I had an out-of-body experience. Have you ever kind of like approached something that you didn't really believe in, but you approached it with an open mind, an inquisitive one? How was that for you? Did you find anything new? Did you grow from it? Did you expand in any kind of way? We often talk about these kind of things in relation to a transition and being transgender. But, I mean, your life has more to you than just being transgender, right? Or more to you than questioning. And so, yeah, the going advice would be to approach your transition inquisitively and approach your experience of your transition with an open mind and a childlike curiosity that will give you a fresh feeling of experiencing life and new ways of seeing it, which is all very good advice. And I've definitely found that approaching with curiosity and seeing life anew as this magical unfolding of something that I'm experiencing as I blossom into my own femininity and who I am, to be a beautiful and amazing process. But once I'm done transitioning, and I'd say I'm not done, but the majority of my transition is over with, what happens next? Am I just going to be making these YouTube videos my whole life? Am I just going to be showing up to work and doing my job, going to bed, watching Netflix, hoping to find a partner? I think there's something beyond that. And I touch on this every now and then, but it's spiritual for me. How is it for you? Like, my life means nothing if I don't do something that has purpose. And that purpose I define through my spirituality. Why am I here? I am here to set the world off better than when I left it. I'm here to help people. I'm here to make something of my experience that will help and enable other people. Why? Because that's my purpose. That's why I'm here. That's my spiritual destiny. That's what I've come to terms with. And part of that process is realizing that I'm a woman. And going through that process of transitioning and being like, fuck, oh my God, like, why the hell is this happening to me? Do you ever say that? Do you ever say that to yourself? Why the hell is this happening to me? It's a hard process being trans and transitioning. It's a very, very, very difficult process. And I would never wish it upon anyone. Or I would wish it on everyone. Because if we can all go through some kind of transition where we do the deep work, then we can have so much more empathy for everyone around us. Then we can take a second to be humble and say, you know what? I don't know everything about the world. Maybe you have something that you can share with me that can teach me something that I can learn from. I feel like it's just human nature to other people and to create a distance that makes people want to feel disconnected. Like cis hetero men in queer spaces, like they're considered to be dangerous and to be ignored and to be ostracized and kind of devalued in a queer space. And then in the opposite, like trans women and especially like minority trans women who are non-passing are kind of like not given the same opportunity and space to be valid, like a more attractive cis person. But we have so much to learn from both these situations in very different perspectives. I don't know where I'm going with this. I just woke up from a nap. And the main thing that kind of stuck to me and that I wanted to share with you is this concept of living your life, making meaning of it, doing something with it. What do you want to do with it? Where do you want to go? How do you want things to look at the end? These are like big questions, but I think you already have some of the answers. And having some of the answers is a great start to looking at how you may want to reconfigure some of your behaviors. Like, what things do you do in your life that don't really add value, but perhaps take away from what you could be doing? For me, one of those things is playing Magic the Gathering. Yeah, I don't ever talk about it, but I played a lot of Magic the Gathering. There's like an app where you can play it. And I have recently kind of quit for the past 7 or 8 days because I've realized how much time it takes away from my life. Not just the time that it takes away from the time that I'm playing it, but the time that I'm thinking about it and the time that I don't plan or do anything because I want to make time for it. I start to experience, when I play a lot of games and I like playing a game, I start to experience time in a way where it feels like things that are spent not playing that game are now feeling like time that's lost not playing that game. And so then everything becomes inherently devalued. And so I've been thinking about time, and I've been thinking about where I'm putting it. I should be putting it to learning my German. I now live in Berlin. I live in a country where I should speak German, and I should learn that. And I should finish writing this book for you guys, this book for transitioning and to help you, on your path. Like, that is the stuff I'm going to look back on and love and be so happy for doing. I'm not going to be happy about the fact that I got to diamond in the ranking ladder. I'm stuck in platinum. And I don't think I'm ever going to make it. And whatever. So I've spent a few $100s like buying packets of gems that's going to give me the ability to unlock more cards and play more packets. But that whole game it's like a black hole. Like, free-to-play games, especially, like League of Legends, I don't know if you play any of these games, but like games where they're designed to just be free are also designed to just exist forever because they're continually incentivized to keep you playing. And I can't play those games. I'm going to allow myself to play games every now and then. Single-player games. Maybe a little bit of multiplayer. But these games that just keep going on and on and on, having a lifestyle where you have something to distract you or to be your fill in the gap for your free time. What are you doing with your free time? What are you building towards? Like, we love using social media. We love the stimulation of TikTok and just being able to scroll and instantly get satisfied. But I walk away going, I don't feel like I gained anything. And if anything, I feel like I am lacking something now. I feel like I'm missing something because I just saw a bunch of other people that are doing all these things. And then that kind of just doesn't feel good, does it? What's your take on this? What's your take on life? What's your take on time? What's your take on living your life? What's your take on meaning? What's your take on your spirituality? let me know what your thoughts are, because I'd love to hear from you, and you're kind of like my therapist a little bit, because I have no one else to talk to about these things. Oh, and by the way, please give this a like and a share if you think it was meaningful for you, and share it with your friends, and hopefully it'll be something that can help others. You can also support me on Patreon. I have, you can buy me a coffee or tea. I don't drink coffee. Or you can join my live Q&A, which is happening soon, and I have a meditation session the following week. So I look forward to getting in touch with you if you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.